He was diagnosed in 1992 with peripheral neuropathy, an incurable, debilitating neuromuscular disease which over the years has robbed his ability to perform the routine tasks that most of us take for granted. He is unable to eat meals as one normally does.
His inner ear is, as he says, shot. He has peripheral neuropathy in his feet, and then he's got the head issue. So his brain doesn't recognize where his feet are going. So he's got, as they said at Johns Hopkins, he has a triple whammy.
I've got no physical pain. You can imagine the mental pain is significant. I get frustrated because I can't really do anything for myself.
I have to say it's not just Fred by himself. The support of his very courageous wife, Barb, has been, it's just been fantastic.
You know, it's not easy on Barb either, because, you know, Barb's the caregiver, and it seems like, you know, the caregiver is the one that always takes the brunt and has to do all the running. And you, again, that's someone you never hear complain.
We went to see him. He was in the hospital, and we went up to see him, and he was having a hard time eating. He was struggling with that. But he was in great spirits, and he said, you know, what's the point of complaining? You're either alive or you're dead, and, you know, if you're alive, then, you know, make the most of it.
When we were dating, and we were having a discussion, I said, well, I think the most important thing in life is your health. I said, well, what's the most important thing to you? And he said, without a split-second hesitation, giving.
Dedicating himself to his community for over 50 years, he served on numerous boards, including the American Red Cross, the Newcastle Community Y, Chamber of Commerce, Glenmore Presbyterian Church, Habitat for Humanity, Hoyt Institute of Fine Arts, Human Services Center, Lawrence County Historical Society, Rotary, and the United Way. He received an honorary doctorate of community service from Westminster College.
He doesn't do it because he wants to be thanked or recognized. I know that about Fred. He gives from his heart.
He hasn't treated anyone or favored any one organization over the other.
He's at Rotary every week, and he's not just there, you know, punching the card, and he's trying to make a difference.
When he was receiving health care elsewhere, he would observe, not only focusing on his needs, but while his needs are being taken care of, he would observe the work of others and the processes that were used. And he would come back and make recommendations that would be helpful for us. That's the type of guidance and counsel that Fred Rentz gives behind the scenes in a quiet fashion.
The philosophy that has been fed to me is that if you're going to live in a town, you have to pay your dues. You don't live for nothing. Do whatever you can do to pay for your space.
I've learned two things from Fred that I think are very important. Fred believes firmly that any possessions which you have or any talents which you have are only given to you for your time on earth. Fred also believes that there is great equality for people. He treats everyone exactly the same from my observation.
I can't tell you the times at night I'll get a phone call and we'll say, our rent. It's like, oh, this will be good. And Fred will be like, Joe, I have an idea. This is what I'd like to do.
There's an old saying about you can only see clearly through the heart. And this is the way Fred looks at things.
I remember once he and Barbara were going to take a trip to Italy. And they had figured that this trip was going to cost, say, $2,000. And because they were going to be spending $2,000 on themselves to take this trip to Italy, they gave the Hoyt a $2,000 donation because they believed that whatever they did for themselves, they would do for someone else. That's an awful hard example to beat.
He has been recognized repeatedly for his philanthropic spirit in the community and supporting the outreach of so many organizations. He's received the Jack Butts Humanitarian Award, Patron of Arts Award. Since his retirement, Fred continues to actively serve his community despite recurring and persistent debilitating health issues that seriously impact his physical activity. Yet he continues to serve as an inspiration to his community through his current commitment to the mission of the local Rotary Club, bringing in more members this last year than any other Rotarian in Club 89. He is currently attempting to organize efforts to renovate the Cascade Park pool for the kids of downtown Newcastle. Fred is a true example of character and courage in the face of continuing insurmountable physical adversity.
And even today, he's very agile for the problems that he has.
He has endured surgeries, hospital stays, physical limitations, ongoing rehabilitation, and frustration to say the least. But Fred refuses to slow down. He has visions for the future. There's work to be done.
I know Fred and his wife were talking about, what would you like in life? You know, do you want better health, and what do you want? And Fred's answer was to continue giving.
Oh, I would love to be like him when I grow up. I think that's a great thing to aspire to.
He lived the American dream, and that's what it's all about.
I was visiting with Fred, and Barbara said to me, tell me one word that summarizes Fred. And I said, I think the one word that I think of when I think of Fred is intellect.
Respect.
When I think about Fred, he has a Christ-like nature.
He looks you in the eye when he talks to you. It's that old-time respect that people have for Fred. And that's just the best way to describe it right there.
To sum Fred up in a single word, that's the easiest question you've asked me today. Love.
Ladies and gentlemen, J. Fred Rentz, our man of courage.